You ever do a sketch and you're like, this looks really good, and then you add line art into it? Today we're talking about line art weight. Sketching captures loose movement, and we want to reflect that in our line art. The weight of a line is dictated by how much pressure you're putting on your pen. When you're doing line art, ask yourself these questions. Where is the light and where is your drawing in comparison? What's in the shadow? Where do your lines intersect? And where is the gravity? In this example, I'm going to add more weight to the lines that are in the shadow, like underneath the leg here, and I'll add thinner lines to where the light's hitting. In terms of gravity, this cloth is being pulled down, so I'm going to thicken the lines that probably have the most weight. There's also going to be natural shadow where lines intersect, so you can thicken those. I know it sounds lame, but this is not easy, and the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it.
Here are 3 art mistakes you need to stop doing right now in order for you to become a better artist. Now let's get started. Okay, so the first mistake I see a lot of artists do is chicken scratch lining. Basically, chicken scratching is when you make a lot of small little lines in order to create a larger line. Instead, try doing much longer and precise lines to give your line art a much more cleaner and refined look. It takes a little bit of practice, but you can do it. The next tip is not using construction lines. A lot of new artists try drawing just the outline of their figure or whatever they're creating. It gives the drawing a really wonky look because you're not laying down the foundation first before you go into line art, and it makes your drawing look terrible. So instead of doing that, lay down the foundation first, you know what I'm saying? The construction lines, use the guidelines first, and then you get a much better drawing in the end. And yeah, the last and final tip is stop choking your pencil. Right here is a horrible grip for your hand. Instead, go for a much looser grip that's like halfway in between the pencil, and you
Tips for using colored pencils. If you notice your drawing's a little dull at an angle, that's called wax moving, and you can wipe it off with a tissue. Your hand's oils can smudge the colored pencils, so use a foo-foo makeup brush to wipe away wax shavings instead. Instead of finding the perfect shade, mix colors. Always color in a circular motion to avoid streakiness. Always go lighter at the beginning and darker at the end because layering is really important. Using a marker base saves a lot of time, and make sure your pencils are sharp.
Down south, hood baby, make all the girls go crazy.
Go stupid. She was smart like an A+ student. Up, down, right down, looking for your love right now. La la.
And the beauty of it all is when the sun comes shining through to make those rainbows in my mind when I think of you sometime, and I want to spend some time with you, just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us.
Hey, here's some weird art tips I learned in school. The first is when you're drawing a person from reference, do the head last. And this is because we naturally want to make the head huge compared to the body. The second is that you gotta simplify everything into boxes. The head's facing one way, the torso's facing one way, and the nips are like the eyes of the torso. They follow that line too. Simplifying that really helps. Next is that you got to identify the joints. Because when we're looking at a foreshortened arm, our lizard brains are like, no, it can't possibly be that short. But look at that distance, man, it's shorter than his hand. The next is that when you're drawing hands, make sure they're the size of the face. I know, it's weird. Ooh, and a huge facial tip is to draw the nose first. If you can get the nose, you can get the rest of the face. Because that nose provides a central reference for everything. But don't take my word for it. Try it yourself, and check us out on IG at sparketh.com.
Here's what to do if your bristles get frayed like this. First, avoid putting detail brushes in water for an extended period of time. But if you do, get some really strong gel and rub it into the brush until it regains its natural shape. And then apply heat like a blow dryer until it gets kind of hard, like this. After you do that, you should be able to wash out the gel and it should regain its natural shape. If it doesn't, repeat the process and leave the brush aside for a couple days.
quick art tip. Using reference to fill colors faster. Most people either outline or use the lasso tool to fill flat colors, but it's so much easier to just go to the line art layer and select reference. Draw pen swag.
Hey guys, so as you guys know, I've been obsessed with the Himi gouache kit so much that I basically over-dried it. So when I ordered a new Himi gouache set, this time I was going to take a different approach to the way that I would take care of it. So as you know, when you first open a Himi gouache set, each color is sealed to protect it from exposed air, but you need to remove the seal in order to use the colors. That's where the problem comes. So what I do, instead of removing the lids, I only open them halfway, get a swatch of each color to show which color is which, and use a strip of tape to remove the lid halfway and use the paint when I need it. When I'm done, I just seal it right back up. This has kept my kit in good condition.
The best artist advice that I can give is to make ugly art. No one is good at anything when they're just starting out. There's a huge misconception that art is a natural talent. I used to draw stick figures. My art sucked when I started painting, but I kept practicing, I improved my techniques, I got a better understanding of color, and my art still sucks sometimes. Because bad art is necessary to grow as an artist. It's the only way to learn and to improve your technique is to just make bad art. If you go into a painting knowing you're going to make something ugly, you take all of the pressure off yourself and allow yourself to experiment and grow as an artist. You can play around with color, try new techniques, and who knows, you might create something that you really like painting and develop a totally unique artistic style. So go out there and make some ugly art like a true artist. And if you do, please do at me because I do want to see it, and we can just be little ugly artists together.
Bum art hacks. Do you ever find that your tape border rips your paper? Well, I have a solution. You can stick the tape against skin or a piece of fabric. It will pick up oils or fibers, making it less sticky and much easier to peel off.
Don't know what you're saying. You're flying higher than a plane, and I'm not complaining. It's getting too loud, we'll figure it out. I'm out of my brain.
This is the one art tip that has helped me more than anything else. Paint the nose first. The central location will help with the remaining proportions.
An easy way to give your paintings a professional finish is to paint the edges. You could paint them with one solid color, but I like taking what's on the front and continuing it onto the sides.
Procreate tip: how to stop those dang accidental finger smudges. We've all been there. You're zoomed in drawing with the pencil, and then an hour later you realize your palm did this. We must end its tyranny. Go to settings, gesture controls, go to general, and disable touch actions. Now your pencil works, your finger doesn't.
Art tip of the day: if you're good at art and you love it and you want to pursue it professionally, don't let someone stop you just because they say it's not a safe career choice. The thing is, we're all gonna die within like 100 years or so, and none of this will really have mattered, so you might as well do what you love in this life and just make it work.
Here's another art tip for you. This is to help with preliminary sketches. Go to Procreate and sketch right over your reference. Make sure to sketch where there is a transition of values, like in this. After you finish, get rid of the reference altogether. This is way easier to duplicate than using a full reference, and way easier to add the transition of values.
Here are 10 tips for drawing smoother lines in Procreate. Number 1, get a drawing glove. It'll help your hand glide and keep your skin from sticking to the glass. Number 2, get a matte screen protector. The matte finish won't gather patches of dirt and oil, and that will help your pen glide more predictably. Number 3, don't draw with your wrist. Instead, draw from your shoulder, moving your whole arm. Number 4, zoom in. This way you can make those large gestural arm movements even on smaller details. Number 5, don't draw a line using many strokes. Instead, use one continuous stroke. Number 6, use brushes from the calligraphy section, like the monoline brush, and set its streamline setting to max. Number 7, draw and hold to activate auto smoothing on basic shapes like circles, arcs, and straight lines. Number 8, Use 2-finger tap to undo. Keep trying till muscle memory gets that line just right. Number 9. Don't draw at an awkward angle. Instead, rotate the canvas so that you're pulling the pen towards you. And finally, number 10. Avoid caffeine and remember to breathe and relax. You got this. And if you found these tips helpful, don't forget to follow, like, and share.